what advice would you give to young Justin who was just starting out in the industry, talking about this crazy industry?
Sure.
What advice would you give young Justin? Say, look out for A, B, and C as you move along in your career.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I would, what do you want to say? The world is so much different. The world of filmmaking is so much different since 2008 or 2009 or whatever it has been, because our availability of Super 35 chip cameras or full frame chip cameras and decent video off of even the cheapest thing. Even iPhones could shoot better than whatever I could afford, the maximum best thing I could afford, in 2001 or whatever. There's nowhere near an iPhone. So it's like that stuff has come along so fast that I always feel like young filmmakers, 25-year-olds or whatever, that are working with me, I'm like, you have all the stuff that I have. You're basically just as good as I am. You don't, because you could learn that in like 5 years, and it took me like 20 because I just didn't have the stuff. It wasn't available to me. So I think the barrier to entry obviously is lower in terms of technology, but also the barrier to entry in knowledge that you can get hands on quickly is significantly lower. So I definitely think that, going out, being every level of crew with something else. Maybe something that I did was didn't what do you want to say? Wasn't able to get on as many crews as I would like to when I was younger, and I just wish I would have worked more in terms of, I did a lot of like video quote unquote type stuff, dance recitals and weddings and all that stuff. I was busy on that stuff, but I wasn't busy on other people's crews, and I just would have I really wish I would have had more mentors to be like, here's how you do this, and here's how that works, and all this stuff. Because I feel like you can learn that stuff really quickly if you're with the right people. That's important, is to just go out there, donate time, just really try to learn, like really be so dogged in your approach about just absorbing what's happening around you. Get off your phone. Don't worry about trying to give input. Don't tell them what to do. Don't be a PA that wants to talk a lot. Just listen and observe everything, and you can learn so much so quickly. And then what you want to do right after that, or concurrently maybe, is make stuff that sucks so that you sort of understand why it sucks and why you want to move on and make the next thing. I made a feature film when I was like 22 or whatever, and I think it's cool. I think there's stuff that's good about it. Most people think it sucks, and that was for reasons very specific to what I was trying to do. I intended to make it in a way that most people are like, no, I don't like that. And you're like, ah, shit, well, I thought it was going to work out. Guess not. So you got to get that stuff out of the way. You got to just make things enough to where people can tell you, like, yeah, we don't like movies like that. And you're like, oh, okay. I guess that's why I'd never seen a movie like that. Makes sense now. Yeah. Anyway, that's most of what I would say. Yeah.
Do you feel like do you feel an urge to mentor other people because you didn't have it yourself?
Yeah, I certainly, it's, you got to give people room to do what they're going to do. I also feel like the old man sometimes telling them, like, make sure you pay attention to the fundamentals, that sort of thing. So I might quiz people on things, and I'm like, tell me about the f-stops. How does this work? What is it, tell me about shutter speeds. How does that work? What's depth of field? And, just basic, like, sort of photography things, or, what's the name for this thing, or what order are we going to do this in without even knowing what order we're going to do it in? What would you assume we're going to do? All that sort of stuff is important, because when you have that bedrock, it really makes everything else easier, because you're not really thinking about that. You're not using mental capacity to like focus on like, oh wait, what do I do next? You're just like, that stuff happens, sort of muscle memory, but you can put that in your brain fairly quickly. So yeah, I try to help people with that. And then I just try to let people use gear or use, the stuff I have at my disposal. By having a video production company, I try to be very lenient about letting other people use it. So I don't oftentimes try not to charge people for stuff. And sometimes I charge people, but very little. And, I want to see them do more stuff. And I also like go work with other production companies. It used to be a thing a while ago, at least here where I live, is like, I think a lot of the directors and cinematographers sort of like wanted to keep their own crew and didn't want them giving other directors their secrets. Some crap. I don't know. I didn't even understand it at the time, but like they wanted to sort of have their own dudes that only worked on their projects, and they didn't want them all spreading around. And I never understood
Yeah.
that. I was like, I want, like, if I could design it, your schedule to a grip or whatever, I'd be like, I want you working every single day that you're not working with me. Because then when you come back to work with me, you're going to be way better than you are right now. Like, you're going to continually improve. And then you're going to bring a bunch of stuff to me that I don't even know about. So I just want everyone working in new varied things and learning new things that they wouldn't learn any other way besides seeing someone else do it,
Yeah.
which is really cool. And
Nice.
these days, like, learn everything on YouTube. Holy
Oh yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so much you could do. That stuff just didn't exist. None of that. It
Oh
was
yeah.
like, you'd have to go to page 10 of a user board or something to even find, something that would take 5 seconds on YouTube, and you could
Yep.
absorb almost immediately. And God, there's so much work back then to get any of that information.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, well, cool.
So, and
Well,
sign up on Shoot Stuff Video, where we put stuff up there and we have new information. And,
yeah, there you go.
that's a good way to interact with people too. I mean, to us, that's what it comes down to. And we write a lot of blogs, and we, put a lot of information up there on what we think, how video works and how the filmmaking world works and all that stuff. So reading those is a good way to understand what someone who's been doing it for 20 years thinks about it.
Yeah.